Hey, it's Suze, and welcome to today's episode of Keep the Bad Guys Away. Hey, nice to see you. Hey, I want to tell you a little bit about what the FBI has done as far as financial crimes. I mean, boy, I tell you, my accounts get hit all the time, and in every which way but loose. And I talked, to the Office of Congressional Affairs for ICE, a few months ago, and I was telling you, God, it's like such a war zone. Something happens. And the trouble is, see, I never know if it's the bad law enforcement like the FBI or if it's the terrorists that the terrorists I'm supposed to be in WITSEC from, this whole organized crime ring. I say, I never know. A lot of times I think that, it's probably more of the bad law enforcement, more of the bad, corrupt FBI and their little FBI, CIA, Al-Qaeda task forces. But there's always the possibility because, one of the criminal career ringleaders did, a mortgage loan for my house. And so, I never know. So I got to make a report. But anyway, let me tell you about this horrible financial crime that I had not too long ago. Okay, so, my credit is totally shot from this. Not being in this WITSEC program is hell expensive, very, very dangerous. And, it's completely unrealistic to think that anybody could actually financially manage that on their own. I'm a nurse and I make pretty good money and I never have enough money. So I don't know what somebody would do if they were only making minimum wage. I think that they would probably just be, just dead out in the streets. Wouldn't have money to hop a plane, hop a Greyhound, or, do some of the stuff like I've done in the past. But so anyway, on this, last year I said, well, I got to try to see if I can rebuild my credit. So I got a couple prepaid credit cards. One was from Capital One Bank. And so what you have to do with that, they're actually not prepaid, they're secured credit cards. So what I did is I applied through Capital One for a secure credit card and I sent them a bunch of money. I sent them like $1,500 because I'm like, crap hits the fan, then, I need about $1,500 on a credit card just to, throw and go type of thing. So I got that. It was approved. I got the credit card. And so, but like, keep in mind, I had to drop $1,500 in cash in order to get that. So it's not like anybody up there. I did that when I was in Anchorage, Alaska, even after I met the Anchorage FBI agent Godin up there. So like I said, I keep telling people, the FBI is never going to do anything for me. But anyway, I had the situation down in Texas last year in which I had a nursing contract. Now I was down in Sugar Land, Texas. I was getting railroaded. I was getting screwed. There's a couple stories on that. That'll have to be another video. But I decided there was a nursing company over in McAllen, Texas. Best nurses, they're all best nurses or something like that. And, one of the nurses I worked with at Edinburgh Regional Medical Center, she had been working with them. A-Best, that's what it was called. But anyway, so they got me a contract in Eagle Pass, Texas. So when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, that'd be great because it's right on the U.S.-Mexico border and then I'll be near my ICE guys and all of that. And, it sounded okay. It wasn't like, the best money or whatever, but it was definitely better than, not working. And so, but here was the thing, there was just something wrong with the contract because like at the last minute they wanted my malpractice insurance policy. They wanted a copy of that. Now, I have never in my life had a travel nurse company ask me for a copy of my malpractice insurance because, I do carry my own. I just kind of always have, well, intermittently always have, but, I have my own malpractice insurance policy. But the thing about it is that they're supposed to carry a policy on all of their employees. So, because I'm an employee of theirs. So I found it strange. I'm like, what do what's going to happen? Remember, I got bad law enforcement. These corrupt FBI agents, they're pulling all kinds of crap and they're manipulating all the hospitals. So, I just foresaw this in the future of me going over there to Eagle Pass, that, them pulling some kind of crap with the hospital and trying to come up with a malpractice lawsuit and then going after, my medical malpractice policy. I envisioned this. So I did not take the contract over there. So, but it was a last minute decision after thinking about it. But what I had done in the meantime is that I had paid for a Greyhound bus ticket from, from where I was at, so somewhere down in Sugar Land, and I think I was going to go down for Houston, and then I was going to go over to Mexico, and I also made a reservation at the Holiday Inn right across the border. Well, I ended up canceling that. Obviously I lost my $75 because I didn't take the Greyhound. And then on top of that, the cancellation policy for that particular reservation said that I'd still be charged for one night. So, okay, well, what happened is that I ended up being charged the full amount, not just, I canceled it with Holiday Inn directly. I had a cancellation number, but I ended up being charged the full amount. And I had actually booked it through Global Travel International, and I'm a travel agent with Global Travel International. So, and then I couldn't get Global Travel International to help me reverse the charge either, or to even look into it. Every time I called them, like I said, I'm one of the travel agents, and I just kept getting the runaround on this. So, but the charge was something like around $500, and I should have only been charged for about $75, or give or take a couple dollars, 75, 79, something like that. So I did what you're supposed to do in these situations. You contact the bank and you fill out a fraud claim. Well, when I filled out the fraud claim, I filled it out. I only work with Homeland Security. I only work with Homeland Security. I only work with Homeland Security or Homeland Security investigations. I only work with Homeland Security because I know that the FBI has already caused the problem. And, and I included this copy of my Homeland Security, my ICE letter, so it says at the top, Homeland Security. So I included that. And then I actually, because I was in the district of Special Agent Paul Burkholder, my rock star agent that ICE Customs had found for me, I faxed it over to their office, just so he had that. And then so initially Capital One had reversed the charge. But then for whatever reason, they recharged it back. And when I contacted them back, they told me that, oh, they got a document and, oh, the charge is right and all that. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, oh my God, I'm saying, you know what? I mean, Special Agent Paul Burkholder, I'm sitting right there in his district. I mean, he would know if I got on a Greyhound and left his district and went over and crossed the border, not to mention that I would throw up the red flags. I mean, Customs would know that I went across the border. Everybody would know I went across the border. I did not go across the border. I did not take that contract. So the charge is fraudulent. But Capital One is insistent on the fact that it's not fraudulent and that they got a document. So whatever. But I see, and here's the thing, and this is where things get really sticky when the government doesn't handle things right, because it's basically a trail situation that has occurred for about, God, almost 10 years. I mean, that should have stopped back in 2010 because the U.S. Department of Justice should have been doing something about these FBI agents and the CIA guy, Mark Moore, the whole task force, but they didn't. So, anyway, so this is just a continuation in crime, but I never know. There's some reason, I think it has to do with jurisdictional things as to why, Special Agent Paul Burkholder, he can't seem to fix everything, and I'm not good at law enforcement stuff because I think he would fix it if he fixed it. He fixed a direct deposit cybercrime down when I was down in Southern California last year, and I was getting screwed over by the Santa Monica police. I mean, I had called him from their own police station, so I'm getting screwed over by the police. So I know that he would fix it if he could fix it. He could probably arrest a bunch of people for it, is my guess, but he might not be able to reverse the charge for whatever reason. See, and I don't totally understand stuff. But when I was up in Barrow, Alaska, after that, I kept getting screwed around, Harris County and all that. And I went up to Barrow, Alaska, and I just keep thinking, well, there's got to be another way. See, I just didn't want to pay this $500 charge, but like I had invested a lot of money in having this Capital One secured card anyway, because I needed to dodge criminals. So I called out the Barrow, Alaska Police Department. And, and I asked this police officer about it. Now, I just want to emphasize that this police officer was not white. I want to say he was like Island Pacificer, kind of, he wasn't Asian, but he wasn't Hispanic. I don't really know exactly how to describe him, except that he was nice looking. But he was extremely nice. But he told me to just keep working with Special Agent Paul Burkholder. I gave him his number and stuff too in case something happens, But anyway, so then I call Agent Burkholder, and then apparently he doesn't do credit cards. And I'm like, oh God, okay. So, well, which I think might be the hint of it's the FBI. See, that's what I think, damn, it's the damn FBI. And then I think, well, what am I going to do with the FBI? And then I've tried the marshals where I am now, because sometimes I found that the marshals can override stuff. Like the marshals in Oregon were apparently able to override some kind of document crime based on that same bank account that especially when Paul Burkholder ended up fixing, you know, a couple months later. There was a couple hits on that. So I don't know. I might have to see if the U.S. Marshal Service in Oregon will fix this, because, you know, that's why I said, I mean, I'm not paying for this crap. I'm sick of, you know, it's bad enough you have a fraudulent charge anyway, which is a conspiracy. And then, you know, the bank just wants to keep working in a co-conspiracy with the FBI. Well, you know what? I'm not paying for it. And if it hurts my credit, I don't care. And if Capital One comes and files a case against me, you know, claiming that I owe them money, well, you know, I'm going to do the same damn thing that I did in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's when Citibank filed a case against me claiming that I owed them money, I took this Homeland Security letter and I just slammed it right back to them. You know, because this Homeland Security letter basically says, you know, in a bunch of legal garbage that, well, it's the FBI. So, but, you know, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not paying for this crap, but this is the kind of stuff that the FBI keeps doing. It's organized crime. They use a bunch of different people. They come up with, you know, just when they think they're going to get caught, they pull it some kind of other way. But basically what they do is they keep screwing me over. Well, I'm not paying it. I'm not paying for a bunch of fraud caused by the FBI, and that's all they do is financially impact me. I mean, they are abusers. The FBI, CIA, Al Qaeda task force are just as big of abusers, if not more abusive to me than what a husband who's beating up her wife every day and doing stuff like that. I mean, they are. It's the same pattern. There's no difference. There's no difference. A husband that's like beating up his wife, taking her money, you know, making her be a slave, all this stuff, you know, these women get away from these, you know, abusive husbands, abusive boyfriends. You know, there's no difference here. The FBI is just as abusive to me. I can't stand them. I hate their guts. You know, it follows the same pattern of domestic violence as any male abuser would do to their female spouse or girlfriend. You know, the financial abuse, the financial crimes. It's just that what the FBI is doing to me is a little bit more sophisticated than what, say, you know, a normal average jackass would do. So, but, you know, that's why I said I am putting up with it. So just like many domestic violence victims break the silence eventually against their abusers, I'm going to keep telling you, all the scumbag things that the FBI and CIA, Al Qaeda task force, and other little co-conspirators keep doing, you know, because I've had it with the fact that everybody just allows them to continue, and a lot of it has to do with legal issues. Keep in mind, when there's crime, there's legal issues, and if nobody will prosecute anything, then the cycle of violence continues. But anyway, so financial crime's big part of my life, unfortunately, but anyway, something I'll have to live with until somebody can change it for me. But that's tonight's episode of Keep the Bad Guys Away. I'll see you next time.